Hello everyone and welcome back. It is time to show you what my 10 favourite reads from 2023 were. I look forward to doing this video every single year, and as I'm reading books I think, could this be on my favourites list? And then when it comes to the end of the year and I actually do my list, sometimes the books I choose even surprise me. I had a great reading year in the end and I read some fantastic books. I have 8 of them stacked up next to me because I don't own physical copies of 2 of them yet. That will happen eventually, just not now. And yeah, I can't wait to show you them. So I do have a few rules. First one is 1 book per author. So this means if I read a fantastic series or multiple books from an author and I love them, I still have to pick my favourite. And second of all, no rereads. Although I am bending that rule slightly and having an honourable mention to The Martian, because I reread this more than once this year. I needed comfort reads this year, and for me The Martian is very much a comfort read, so it's getting an honourable mention. And for the rest of the books, the first 9 are in no particular order. This is just the order I wrote the list out in. But the final book I show you will be my favourite read of 2023. So to kick off, I have Leviathan Falls by James S.A. Corey. While it isn't the highest rated of the Expanse series, this conclusion was just everything I needed it to be. Yes, there were 1 or 2 plot points introduced which I did question at this point in the series. Did we need a new major plot point? But for such a big series that I had been reading and rereading for so long, this just concluded everything. I loved it. Loved the end, loved the epilogue, and I'm so sad to say goodbye to these characters in this world that I just come to love over the last few years. And I really would just love to read about their adventures, even if it isn't part of the main storyline. There is a short story collection which I've also read, which is Memories Legion. But just give me more of the Crew of the Rocinante, please. Next is The Book of Zog by Alec Hudson. This is cozy, Lovecraftian-inspired horror fantasy. We follow Zog as he learns about the universe and humans and making friends and just all wonderful fuzzy things for a giant celestial terrifying being. Also, it's not too long and it's a standalone, so definitely what we need sometimes with fantasy. I would best describe this as somehow heartwarming. So next is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. So Carissa Broadbent was one of those authors that surprised the hell out of me in SBFBO, and I've become an absolutely massive Carissa Broadbent fangirl. I mean, you can only really see the edge here, but I've got all her books. So this has been picked up by Tor, so this will be coming out in a new version. The Serpent and the Wings of Night, the first book in the series, has actually just come out. I saw it in my Waterstones the other day and I felt so proud. But yeah, this is a great follow-up to that first book, which ends on a massive cliffhanger. And the characters who are in this world are just so fantastic. And in this one, we do find out more about how the world works, how the vampires works, and I don't know if vampires are cool again or what, but yeah, this was just a fantastic duology, and I read this one this year. So the next book is another follow-up, and this is Tyranny of Faith by Richard Swan, the follow-up to Justice of Kings, which took everyone by storm the year that came out. I don't like to place years on things now without checking because I just can't remember. So this world is just so vivid in a way that I rarely find. It just feels so real, like it's almost there in front of you. The characters are complex and multi-layered, and I loved spending time with them. And I got to the end of this book and I just wanted there to be more pages, and there weren't more pages. So the last book is coming out soon, I think. I'm hoarding the last of my Waterstones voucher for that. The next one was a bit of a surprise for me. Is This One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This one had so much hype when it came out and I decided to try it anyway. Overhyped books for me don't always work, but this one I was just so absorbed by. It has this really mysterious and interesting world, it's atmospheric setting, there's this mist everywhere that can make you ill if you go out in it. Also has fantastic characters and a magic system based around magic cards, which I really enjoyed finding out about and how that all worked. And yeah, this was just an all-around wonderful read. So the next one on my list is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I read this from my local library. I don't have a physical copy of this one. I think this is going to be waiting for a paperback release for this. This was just utterly delightful, an adventure, and more fairy tale-esque than Brandon Sanderson usually writes. It was whimsical and beautiful and lovely, and really something quite gentle but still engaging at a time when that was exactly what I needed. It's a nicely self-contained story, but there are some Easter eggs if you are familiar with his wider body of work. The next on my list is The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. This is a complex and twisty tale that pulls you in and will not let you go, with characters that jump off the page and a library where I'm not sure if I want to visit it or if I want to run away screaming. Loved the epigraphs. I think this is the longest thing Mark Lawrence has put out so far, but the pages just absolutely flew past. I believe the sequel is coming out before too much longer in the year. And then another one I don't have a physical copy of. This is Legacy of Brick and Bone by Crystal Matter. And this is a follow-up to Legacy of the Brightwash, which is here. This is a hefty thing. Legacy of Brick and Bone is over 1,000 pages long, which is why I don't have the physical copy yet. The fallout continues after Legacy of the Brightwash and Tishue. It's Tishue. There are more point of view characters. We have spent some time with side characters from the first book. The politics of the world is expanded upon. The rest of the world is expanded upon. There are more and more layers to go through. And it's a book about boxing. And I just couldn't put it down. I flew through. When I finally sat down to tackle this, I just flew through it so incredibly quickly. I just love spending time with these characters once again. So the next one on my list is The Fall Is All There Is by C.M. Kaplan, and this is my finalist for this round of the SBFBO. This is chaotic and I just love spending time in this world. This has a fantastic opening and Peter, our main character, I adore Peter. I really, really do. This is an absurd world and something really doesn't feel right about it, and I really liked finding out what was going on with everything that felt just not right. Standout characters with just chaos all the way through. This is a fantasy world that blends science fiction elements into it really, really well in a way that felt organic. And I still feel like I have so much to discover. So now we're on to my absolute favourite read of 2023, and that was The 13th Hour by Trudy Skies, which is book one of The Cruel Gods. This is actually my favourite thing so far that I have read out of all the SBFBOs that I have been a judge for. This world is just so beautifully detailed and expansive. We've got different domains that we can visit. There are 12 different domains as well as our main city of Chime. The characters just come alive on the page. It's a gaslamp fantasy with found family and gods that cause a lot of chaos. It's not a pleasant read. At times it gets quite dark, but I just loved spending so much time in this world. I've already read the sequel to this one, and book 3 comes out at some point in 2024, which I cannot wait to see how this thing ends. It's a wonderful world that came to life and it was an absolute delight to read. So those were my favourite reads of 2023. I would love to know what your favourite reads were. Thanks for watching and I shall see you all soon.